Aloha, my name's Joby Weeks, and I've been stuck here on house arrest for 6 years, and you're probably wondering why. Me too.
Joby Weeks is accused of fraud in a cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme, bilking $750 million from victims, say investigators. The men had been running a business called BitClub Network for the past 5 years. They face up to 25 years in prison for fraud and conspiracy charges.
In December 2019, federal agents quietly arrested a man most people had never heard of. No helicopters, no breaking news countdown, no dramatic press conference. Just another name added to a growing list of crypto arrests. But behind that name was a story involving hundreds of millions of dollars, thousands of investors across the world, and one of the largest alleged cryptocurrency fraud operations ever investigated. The man's name was Joby Weeks, and depending on who you ask, he was either a visionary early crypto believer, a salesman caught in a system he didn't control, or a key figure in a global financial illusion. Because the deeper you look into what happened to Joby Weeks, the less clear the truth becomes. To understand Joby Weeks, you have to go back to a moment when crypto felt less like finance and more like a revolution. The early 2000s were chaotic. Banks were still distrusted after the 2008 financial crisis. Governments were printing money. People were searching for alternatives. Then Bitcoin appeared, not just as technology, but as an idea, a currency beyond control, a system without gatekeepers. And suddenly, a new type of entrepreneur emerged. Not engineers, but evangelists, people who didn't build crypto. They sold the dream of it. Joby Weeks became one of them. He wasn't known as a programmer or financial analyst. Instead, he thrived in conferences, presentations, and online communities, explaining crypto in ways ordinary people could understand. He translated complexity into opportunity, and opportunity attracts attention. Around 2014, Weeks became associated with a company called BitClub Network. Its pitch sounded almost too perfect. Instead of buying complicated mining equipment yourself, investors could simply purchase shares in a mining pool. The company would operate powerful computers that generated cryptocurrency, and profits would be distributed automatically. Passive income, automated wealth, technology doing the work while you slept. At a time when few people understood how crypto mining actually worked, the model exploded in popularity. Presentations promised transparency. Dashboards showed earnings. Communities formed around shared financial optimism. And money began flowing in. A lot of money. Prosecutors would later claim investors worldwide contributed more than $700 million. But behind the scenes, investigators say something else was happening. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, BitClub Network wasn't primarily generating profits from mining. Instead, authorities alleged it operated like a classic Ponzi structure. New investor funds were used to pay earlier participants. Internal communications later cited by prosecutors suggested some organizers discussed increasing displayed profits artificially to attract more investors. If true, it meant the success people were seeing wasn't technological innovation. It was momentum fueled by belief. And belief spreads faster than math. But here's where the story becomes complicated. Joby Weeks was not accused of creating the system. He was accused of promoting it, which raises a question that still divides observers today. At what point does promotion become responsibility? To understand why thousands trusted companies like BitClub, you have to remember how unregulated crypto was at the time. There were no clear rules, no established investor protections, no shared definition of what counted as a security. Entire fortunes were being created and lost in online forums and hotel conference rooms. The line between innovation and fraud wasn't just blurry, it practically didn't exist. Many early crypto businesses operated in legal gray zones simply because regulators hadn't caught up yet. Supporters of Weeks argue this context matters. They claim many promoters genuinely believed mining operations were legitimate and sustainable. Critics argue the opposite, that ignorance doesn't erase responsibility when real money's involved. Either way, the boom couldn't last forever, and eventually, regulators caught up. In 2019, U.S. authorities unsealed indictments against several individuals connected to BitClub Network. Federal agents arrested Weeks in Florida. Suddenly, a figure known mainly inside crypto circles became part of a global investigation. Charges included conspiracy to commit wire fraud, selling unregistered securities, involvement in a massive investment scheme. The case sent shockwaves through the crypto community. Because this wasn't just about one company. It signaled something bigger. The era of unchecked crypto experimentation was ending. governments were stepping in, and early promoters were becoming examples. In 2020, Weeks made a decision that surprised many followers. He pleaded guilty to conspiracy to sell unregistered securities and tax-related charges connected to his earnings. For supporters, the plea looked like surrender. For legal experts, it looked strategic. Federal trials are brutally expensive. Asset freezes often limit defendants' ability to fund long legal battles. Plea agreements can dramatically reduce potential prison time compared to fighting charges. But a guilty plea doesn't always settle public opinion. Instead, it created two competing narratives. Narrative 1, he knowingly helped promote a fraudulent system. Narrative 2, he became a scapegoat for an entire era of chaotic innovation. And both stories continue to circulate online today. After the plea, something unusual happened. The case slowed down. Years passed with limited public updates compared to the dramatic arrests that began the story. For viewers watching from the outside, it felt like Joby Weeks had simply disappeared. No major headlines, no definitive ending, just legal limbo, a common but rarely discussed phase of federal prosecutions. During this time, debates intensified inside crypto communities. Some claim the government misunderstood decentralized finance entirely. Others argued enforcement was overdue and necessary to protect investors. The truth sat somewhere in between, buried under legal filings and conflicting interpretations. Whether guilty, misguided, or unlucky, Weeks became something larger than an individual defendant. He became a symbol of early crypto culture itself, an era defined by three powerful forces: hope. People believed technology could rewrite finance. Speed. Innovation moved faster than regulation. Trust. Investors often trusted personalities more than systems. And when those forces collide, outcomes are rarely simple, because crypto wasn't just about money. It was about identity, the belief that ordinary people could escape traditional financial control. That belief made promoters powerful. And it also made failures devastating. The story of Joby Weeks raises an uncomfortable question few people want to confront. If thousands of people willingly invest in something they don't fully understand, who is responsible when it collapses? The promoter, the creator, the investor, or the system that allowed it to happen? Financial history shows this pattern repeating again and again. Railroads, dot-com stocks, housing markets, cryptocurrency. Every technological revolution creates both pioneers and casualties, and often they look identical at first. Public information about Weeks' current situation remains limited compared to the explosive early coverage of the case. Legal proceedings and sentencing processes in complex financial cases can take years, sometimes longer than the public's attention span, which creates a strange outcome. One of crypto's biggest legal stories faded quietly while the industry moved on to NFTs, new exchanges, and new scandals. The market evolved, the headlines changed, but the questions never fully disappeared. When BitClub collapsed, billions in crypto didn't explode into nothing. It scattered into frozen wallets, government seizures, legal battles, and accounts no one may ever fully trace. Some investors lost everything, some people faced prison, and the system moved on like nothing happened. Because in the end, the story of Joby Weeks isn't just about crypto or fraud, it's about what happens when ordinary people try to escape the financial system and discover the system was never something you could simply walk away from. And maybe that's the real question left unanswered. In the digital age, who actually owns your money when power decides otherwise?